Most people think that rest days means doing absolutely nothing, but the truth is what you do on your off days can either stimulate growth or keep you tight and prone to injury. If this is your first time on the channel, my name is Jesus V, and on this channel we cover everything fitness and bodybuilding. Let's get into it. So in today's video, I want to share 3 recovery tools that I specifically use to stimulate growth, get stronger, and avoid injury on each and every one of my rest days. And as soon as I incorporated these 3 things, my gains were through the roof. If it's a rest day, the great thing is that you're not overloading your muscles with heavy weight, so it's the perfect opportunity to utilize stretching to increase flexibility and, most importantly, mobility in your day-to-day life. So I'm going to give you 12 stretches, and what I do at the end of those 12 stretches on my rest days to get you more mobile and more flexible. And for my bodybuilders, we pack on a lot of muscle. So if you're super tight, these stretches are going to really help open you up and not get you prone to injury. Starting with number 1, spinal extension and flexion to the walkout with a cobra pose and a prayer pose at the end. So these are like 3 different stretches, but I like to incorporate them into one movement, and it's the first stretch that I do every single day. It relieves tension in my lower back. It helps break down the tightness in my back, and on top of that, it just helps me feel a little bit more relaxed, especially on your rest days. It's a rest day, so you're supposed to relieve tension all around your muscles. So this is a perfect way to do it. Moving on to the low lunge stretch. This is one that I have all my clients do and I do myself, because most people, not some, most people have tight hip flexors from sitting on chairs all day and not stretching enough. So the low lunge stretch is crucial. I would suggest that you hold each side for no less than 30 to 40 seconds. Moving on to the toe touch stretch. Now this is a stretch that you see everyone do, and it's your standard stretch for relieving tightness in the hamstrings, and I think it's important that everyone does it because most people have very tight hamstrings, and that could lead to injury as well. Again, with the hip flexors, because I tend to have tight hip flexors, I need multiple stretches to get me more flexible and more mobile. So the 90-90 stretch is going to be crucial for opening up the hip flexors, especially before a leg day. The seated splits. Now, one of my goals eventually is to be able to do the splits, and this is one of the 2 stretches that I do to help me get more mobile in my hip flexors and my hamstrings to be able to eventually do a stretch. Moving on to the standing split with the walkout. Now I do this usually against a wall because I want to be able to stretch my legs as far as possible, but sometimes it starts to hurt. So what I do is I go into a walkout that gives me a momentarily relief from the tension. I take a nice deep breath and then I go right back up, and I'm doing that usually for like 1 to 2 minutes, just because I really want to relieve tension in my hamstrings and my hip flexors. Moving right along, half kneeling hamstring stretch. Again, another great stretch for relieving tightness in your hamstrings. Here's the deal. If you can't touch your toes or you can't fully straighten your legs without your knees bending, your hamstrings are way too tight. So you need to be utilizing these stretches. Then you got the frog pose, another great hip flexor opener. Again, got to get those hip flexors opened up. And then I usually ended up with some leg swings and some leg rotations just to have another dynamic form of stretching. All right, moving right along. Now we're going into the upper body. It's very important, especially for bodybuilders. We tend to favor our upper body versus our lower body. So the muscles in our upper body are usually very tight. So we're going to start with wall slides. I cannot tell you enough how important wall slides are if you have rounded shoulders or if you have a lot of tightness in your upper upper chest, upper shoulder area, these wall slides are going to be a godsend. I would suggest doing these for at least a minute, just because you really want to feel it. Most importantly, you want to maintain all points of contact in your lower, mid, and upper back while trying to keep your arms pinned up against the wall. If you do it that way, I guarantee you're going to feel so much tension being relieved in your shoulders. Moving right along to the dead hang and scapular elevation. Now, this is one of the most underutilized but very beneficial upper body stretches. Most people have rounded shoulders, and this is going to be crucial for you fixing that posture in your upper body. Going to the open book stretch, another upper body opener, especially if you have tight lats. You're going to want to utilize the open book stretch. You're going to want to do 5 swings of your arm on each side, 10 in total. And then what I like to do after I'm done with stretching, I do some diaphragmatic breathing, just breathing through my core. So big breath in through the chest, through the nose, and then when I exhale, I expand my stomach instead of my chest. So yeah, some diaphragmatic breathing for at least a minute. Now that I've given you the list of stretches, here are the benefits. So the benefits of stretching the way I just showed you is that it's going to increase blood flow, it's going to help your muscles recover, and it's also, most importantly for my bodybuilders, it's going to help prevent that stiffness that we all have from tightness in our muscles and in our joints. All right. Moving on to the second recovery tool, which is going to be the sauna. Now, this is a recovery tool that I just recently started incorporating, but I can't tell you enough how beneficial it is and how much I've been feeling it. Now, when it comes to the sauna, a lot of people think it's just relaxation, but when you sit in the sauna, a few things are happening. It raises your heart rate similar to light cardio. It improves your blood circulation. It helps flush out metabolic waste, and the heat also boosts growth hormone levels temporarily, and that helps play a role in muscle repair. Not to mention, obviously, it feels good, and after you're done with the sauna, you leave with a sense of relaxation that you didn't have before it. And if you have excess body fat or excess water that your body holds, it helps get rid of all that excess water. Take a look. This is me just doing some light posing after hitting the sauna for 20 minutes. Like, all that vascularity is moving to the surface of my skin, just getting rid of all that excess water. And a lot of people hold a lot of water, so the sauna is a great way to really see that muscle definition and get rid of excess water. And then the last thing is the steam room. So I usually just do the steam room for like 10 or 15 minutes after I'm done with the sauna. Comes to the steam room will help keep your skin and airways hydrated, which can especially be helpful if you're running down. It promotes circulation, it eases your joint stiffness, and helps your muscles relax. So instead of treating your rest days just as lazy days, use that time to recover smarter and recover better, and most importantly, recover faster. Remember, stretching is going to help you stay mobile. Hitting the sauna is going to help you boost circulation and recovery, and using the steam room is going to help you relax and rejuvenate, which is the whole purpose of having a rest day. Remember, training breaks your body down, but recovery builds it back up. Take your rest day seriously, and you'll see better results inside and outside the gym. I hope you guys found this content helpful. If you did, make sure you like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe, because we're going to keep on trying to put out the most helpful fitness content. And if you want content outside of fitness, consider subscribing to Jesus V Unscripted. And until next time, your insecurities. Peace.